Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today I have for you some resin. We're going to resin together here in my little bead room, but first of all, I wanted to make a couple of announcements. So first off, I wanted you all to know I have restocked the Coriana chain, okay? So it is back up on my website. There is rose gold, silver, and platinum, and rose gold, gold, and platinum, and the platinum works just like silver. So here is my information. I will also link it in the description box below, but that is my website, email, Facebook, Instagram, everything. So the Coriana chain is relisted on the website if you're interested in purchasing that. I'm also uploading a lot of new items daily to the website. I'm hoping to get some more uploaded today. Okay, that's the first housekeeping issue. The second thing I wanted to say is this video is going to be super long because I am doing resin pendants from start to finish. So that's why it's so long. It took me several videos to do it, and I've merged them all together in just one big resin video. But we are making resin seashell pendants, and it is a long process. So that's why the video is so long. There are a couple places on the video where I go off frame, and I'm really sorry. I just want to apologize ahead of time for that because I had to film a lot of it in my kitchen. I can't pour the resin up here because I'm so messy. I would destroy everything in my bead room if I tried to pour resin in here. So I had to do it on the kitchen table, and the camera was set up a little differently. And so there were a couple of places where I did go off frame. But with resin, you can't go back. It's not like I can really go back and re-record the video. It's not like just beading where I could just re-bead something or whatever. So that, I apologize ahead of time, but I am going to show you each and every pendant that I made up close, so you'll get to see everything at the very end. Okay, so I'm sorry if there were a couple that I held a couple of them up and they were off frame and I didn't realize it. So anyway, I am sorry about that, but you will see them all in the very end. So I think that's everything. Oh no, a couple more things. Number one, do not use painter's tape to put your bezels on. I did that, and it left a pattern in my resin. Now it doesn't look bad. It almost looks like stained glass. It's kind of cool looking, so you may like the look. I'll show you here in the end all of them. But if you want it to be smooth and clear, do not use painter's tape. Use clear packing tape. And I had never used painter's tape before, but I didn't have any clear packing tape, so I used painter's tape, not knowing that it would leave this pattern on my resin. But actually, I don't know, it kind of turned out cool, so we'll see. But okay, so I think that's everything. So I am going to put this video at the beginning of all the other videos, and so yeah, let's get on into it. I'll see you in a minute. Hey everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to do some resin, if you can't tell. So let me just jump in and go over the products that you're going to need, or the supplies that you're going to need if you want to do exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You can do anything you want. That's the good thing about resin. It is so much fun. There's so much variety. Yeah, it's awesome. So let me show you what I have though. So first off, I have these open bezels. If you can see these, I ordered these from AliExpress. It was a multi-pack of there's like 30 of them here. They all came different metals. They were mixed, and I love these. I am going to pour resin and put inclusions in them, and hopefully, if I can get all the bubbles out really good, they'll make really pretty little pendants. So what I do is I take a strip of painter's tape and I lay it on this board. Now this board is like a ceramic cutting board that we had in our kitchen that we've screwed up with other things like paint and stuff. So I'm using it for this. But I take a piece of painter's tape, I lay it sticky side up, and then I take the ends and tape them down just so it lays flat and taut. And then I take my little bezels and I just press them down really hard on this painter's tape. You want to make sure that they're stuck down really good because you're going to pour a layer of resin in there and you just don't want it to seep out the bottom. Okay? And then I've got my inclusions that I'm going to put in here. Now, let me just say, the more prepared you can be up front when you're working with resin, the better off you are. So I've got all these prepared here. I've already decided what I'm going to put in them. So I've laid them out. Now these are just charms. These are little these are actually beads that if you get the bargain bead box, these came in your bargain bead box. These are charms that I got at Hobby Lobby and I just cut the little ring off. These are the magnesite little starfish that I got from AC Moore, and then I've had a couple subscribers send me these as well. And these also came, I think the turquoise version, in your bargain bead box a while back. These are some little starfish that I got at Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry, these are seahorses. They had seahorse, starfish, these little shells. They all come in a package together, green and blue mixed, and they're at Hobby Lobby. This is a turtle charm. I'm not sure where I got him. And this is just a little single mermaid scale cabochon. I'm not sure where I got it either. Maybe Hobby Lobby with that. And then I've got some little beads here, little tiny, tiny pearls that I may use in some of these. I've got some glitter glass or glass glitter, ice resin glass glitter. I have these little micro pearl things. These are good to sprinkle in the bottom. It looks like sand or like gold laying on the bottom of your ocean. I have some glitter that Mia sent me. I have some other glitter here, some fine glitter. I have some other glitter that Mia sent. Oh, this was so pretty. I've got, there's all different charms here. Like here's a crab. And all I do is I just cut the loops off, okay? There's a crab, here's a fish, here's some anchors. I mean, I've just got a ton of different stuff here. And I've already gone through and decided what I wanted to put in each shell. Just to save time, there's no sense in making you watch me do that process. These are alcohol inks. And I have some teeny tiny little shells, little teeny baby shells here. And then I've got all of my seashells. Now what I've done is I've gone through with all my charms and just decided what I wanted to put in each seashell, okay? So if you can see. Now let me tell you, these fish charms, they came from Hobby Lobby and they are so pretty. They came in a package of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like maybe 6. But oh my gosh, they're beautiful. They're going to be really pretty in here. Okay, so I've got all my seashells. Now, let me show you the seashells. Like, if you can find seashells that have kind of a deep little bowl like this, they're really good for this. Or these kind that are kind of wide and flat are really good for it too, okay? Let's see. I've got a tray with rice in it. This is, and I've patted down the rice. And this is so when I pour my resin, I can set this seashell in here and it'll sit level until it dries and hardens. Thank you, Heidi Blankenship, for that idea because that has made my life so much easier. Can't even tell you. I've got my table covered with wax paper because I'm super messy. You guys know I am and I don't want to destroy my table. It's great to have napkins near you. I have a little scale here, and this is what I'm going to weigh my resin out with. I got this on Amazon for like $7, and it is tremendous for weighing to make sure that you get your resin weighed out correctly. I have, I've got popsicle sticks and toothpicks, which you can use to maneuver things and stir things. And I've got these little cups, and these are what I measure my resin in, and then I mix in, because you can just throw them away, because trust me, you do not want to have to try to clean resin off of plastic cups. It's never any fun at all. And I have a barbecue torch for getting out bubbles. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's everything. So if I'm missing anything, I'll tell you. I do have this metallic luster out here. This stuff is really awesome. Let me show you. See it? It's like pasty stuff, and you can color your shells with it. And I color the backs of them sometimes with that, but I haven't done that yet with any of these, so I think I'm just gonna keep these kind of plain. Now, one thing I do, you can do it however you want, but I am super, super picky about these things looking cluttered. Like this, I'm just gonna put that single starfish in there. I don't like it when it looks all cluttered up, like it's crowded. Now this one, see, I'll scoot these down to the bottom, they're little shell pieces, and have him, it's just all gotta look, I don't know, I'm weird about that. I don't want to put a bunch of stuff in there and have it look all cluttered up. So that's just me maybe, but that's just one of my big pet peeves. I hate for it to look crowded. And I'll tell you, I don't have holes in any of these shells. Well, this one has a hole in it, but it's a natural hole. I didn't drill that there. And hopefully I can pour it to where the resin won't go out that. But you need a little hand drill. You can get them on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. And it just, like, it's got a little pokey thing you put in, and you turn it with your hand, and it drills the holes in these shells perfectly. And I'll do that after. I don't do that before, because you don't want your resin coming out the hole. So after it's poured, then you can drill through your resin and stuff and make the holes. These are awesome because they have the loop on them already. You don't even have to worry about that, because it is a pain. I hate doing it, but it's necessary. Because you can't really glue bells to these because they're curved. I mean, I guess you could, but it would be hard and they might fall off. Okay, so I think that's all the supplies that we're going to need. I didn't mention the resin. This is the resin that I use. Now, Heidi is like the resin queen, and she uses a different kind, and hers always comes out really pretty. She uses ice resin, but I still have this, and I don't want to waste it, and I don't want to buy any more until I use it. So, but next time I probably will buy the same stuff that she uses, because hers always turn out so pretty. Okay, so I think that's everything. Now I'm gonna stop this video and come back later and do this, because I'm actually meeting one of my subscribers at Joann's here in a few minutes. I'm so excited to meet her, and she said they've got their beads 70% off, and she's buying the little stretchy bracelet that I made for her sister for her birthday. So I'm going to meet her there, and it's already noon, and I'm supposed to meet her at 1. So I'm afraid if I start pouring resin, I will not get there in time, because this is kind of a lengthy process. So you guys get your stuff together, get it all ready, get it all planned out, because once we pour the resin, we've only got about 45 minutes before it starts to harden. So you want to have everything together. Everything laid out, you know, these kind of set up like you want them to be, and you've already done all this thinking part, and then you can just pour your resin and go. So go ahead and get that all ready, and I'll be back in a little while and we'll pour some resin. See you in a minute. Okay, everybody, so I'm back. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and we're going to mix the resin. So here we have it, part A and part B, and our little scale. Okay, so I'm going to put the cup on the scale before I turn it on, because I want it to zero out the weight of the cup. I'm just making sure everything's on frame. If I stay right about here, I'm good. Okay, so turn the scale on. It's zeroed out, and I'm going to take my part A side. Now, I'm not going to pour a ton of resin, because like I said, it sets up in about 45 minutes, and you know, if I need to pour more, I will, but I don't want to pour a ton and then have it set up and not be able to use it. So this is the part A side. And that's probably about all. Maybe I should do, maybe I'll do just a tad bit more. Okay, that's about all I'm going to do of this. So let me put the lid back on it here. So this is 0.91 grams. I'm going to try to clean up as I go. I'm such a messy crafter, but let me see if I can clean up as I go. So 0.91. So then I turn the scale off. I take this off. I put this cup on, and I turn it back on, and it zeroes out. and I've got to pour 0.91 of this part of it. Okay, I'm at 0.60, 70, 80. Okay, we're getting close now. Okay. I went over just a tad. I went to 0.92. So let me actually just pour a little bit back. See if that. Now I've got 0.90. That's the thing, is getting it exact. And you want to get it as exact as you can. There we go. 0.91. All right, so go ahead and stick this back in the box. Okay, now we can put our little scale away. Out of the way. And we've got to mix these two together. Okay, here they are. This is the thicker one. I just got glitter or something in here. This is the thicker one, so I like to pour the thinner one into the thicker one just because it's easier to get the thinner one out of the cup. So I'm going to pour it into here. Try to get every little bit out that I can. Scrape the sides real good. And get it all out. Don't tip your cup over like I just about did. All right. I think that's pretty good. So here's what you got. Now, this is the trick, ladies and gentlemen, is stirring this without getting a bazillion bubbles in it. So you want to stir kind of slow. You'll see it starting to mix. There's like these striation looking things that get in there. But you really want to try to minimize the bubbles as much as you can. You don't want to whip it like you're whipping cake batter, because if you do, you're just going to have a big mess. It's hard to get the bubbles out after you have whipped it up into the point where there's just bubbles everywhere. So you just stir slowly. And that's what I'm going to do. And this part seems boring, and I'm sorry. But as you can see, it gets real cloudy looking in there. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, I think you can see. It gets real cloudy looking, and you just try to stir it gently until it looks clear. Okay. So if you can hear this tick-tock sound in the background, I've got pizza in the little puck oven. Chris, he made homemade pizza this past week, and this is leftovers, and he's at his mom and dad's today, helping them with some housework and yard work and stuff. And so I just ran out and met one of my subscribers. Her name is Tessian, and she is such a sweet, sweet lady. I'm so glad to have met her. And I had another subscriber here in Fayetteville that I had gotten together with once, and we'd texted back and forth a few times, but I've texted her a couple times and can't get a hold of her at all, so I don't know what's up with her. But Tessian and I met at Joann's because they're having 70% off of their beads today. And yeah, she's just real sweet. So I'm going to be, it looks like, I don't know, I haven't talked to my boss yet. I need to get a hold of her, but it looks like I might be off work for the next week or so. And the other lady, I had texted and told her I was off last week and wondered if she wanted to come over and bead one day, but she never responded to me. So maybe one day this week, if I'm off again, we can get some people. I mean, we can't have more than 10, but we can get a group together to bead here at my house. I would love to do that. Okay. So if you see, it does have some bubbles in it, and there's no way you can avoid all of them, but if you can see, it's looking clear in there. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit more. And I'm going to walk over here and grab something really quick. Let me pause this video. I'll be right back. Okay, so if you see what I did, I took a little bowl here and I ran water in my tap as warm as I could get it, and I've set the resin down in here. Now, you do not want to get the water in your resin. Be very careful not to do that, but this will help some of the bubbles to come up to the top. So I'm just gonna let it sit here for a minute. And these little cups are coated with like a waxy stuff, so the water is not going to get in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is decide. Now, with resin, a lot of times it is a multi-step process. So a lot of these seashells today, I will be pouring just a background for. And then I will pour the rest of it later on top of the inclusions, because sometimes you want to let the background harden. And then, especially if you're using like glitter or alcohol inks or something, and then you want to come in later and put your inclusions in. But now for these pendants, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pour them and I'm going to put the inclusions right in them because I want them to be clear. So I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol ink. Am I going to do that? No, I'm going to leave these clear. Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of the resin here, and I kind of want to torch this because it does have a lot of bubbles in it, but so I'm just going to take the torch and go over the top here. I'm going to tap it a little bit, trying to get as many of the bubbles out as I possibly can. I don't want to leave it in the water too long or I'm afraid it will sink through the cup. So
you've got mail.
I've got mail? Thank you, Alexa. Alexa says I have mail. I've already checked the mail today. Chris has a sensor on our mailbox. Chris has got this place wired up like, yeah, a car went by. Chris has this place wired up like nothing I've ever seen. And, you know, if the mailman comes, we get a notification. If anybody drives by the mailbox, we get a notification. So, yeah, when the zombie apocalypse hits, that'll be very handy. All right, so just torch it. Try to get as many bubbles out as you can. Get that out of the way. You scoot this up and make sure I'm on frame. Am I? I am. Okay, so then I'm going to take my resin and I'm just going to take a little bit on this popsicle stick and I'm going to drop it in this bezel. Now I want a thin layer and I just want it to coat the whole bottom. This is an art that takes patience, guys. If you're an impatient person, which I am, and that's why some of my stuff turns out messy. But it's best if you go slow and you just have a lot of patience with this process. You don't want any of this seeping out the bottom. You definitely don't want it seeping over the top. So just take your popsicle stick, spread it out in there. Okay. And then we're going to run this over it to get out any bubbles. Okay, and you don't sit in one place, you just kind of move it over quickly. Now, let me think what I was going to put in this. I think I was going to do 3 starfish in this one. So I'm going to take one of my starfish and just lay it in there. This is where your toothpicks come in handy. You can scoot things around. We'll put this one right about here. And then I had another little antique gold one that I was going to use in here. And like I said, guys, I keep it simple. I do not want my stuff to look cluttered up. I just, I keep it simple. So that's all I'm going to do in this one is just the 3 little starfish. Okay, so let's take our resin, put some in here. Just spread it around in there. Okay, make sure it covers the whole bottom. Take the torch to it and pop any bubbles that you can see. And I'll go back over this one again. Whoops, sorry for the crash. And then I wanted to put this little fish in here. I really love these little fish. I think they're so pretty. Chris and I are going to go out on a motorcycle later, and I may have him stop me by Hobby Lobby to get a few more of these fish. They're so cute. And then I'm going to take a little bit more resin and just cover him if I can. You do not want this to spill over the top of your bezel, so be very, very careful. If your piece has to be kind of 3D and stick out, it's better to let it do that than to spill over the top of your bezel. Because if you spill over that bezel, you're going to have a big mess. Okay. I am going to put a little bit more in the starfish here now that they've kind of settled in. And it's okay for it to come right to the edge of the top of the bezel, and it will do that. It's self-leveling, so it's going to kind of create its own little barrier there and won't go over unless you just put a huge amount and it flows over that way. So just be real careful. Just add it in little drops at a time, like this. Okay? So our starfish are in there. Let's torch them. And our fish. Okay, and I've already got the stuff on my fingers. Like I told you, I've got it on my torch here and my fingers. I'm so messy. Alright, and then let's put a little in this one. I like these long, thin ones. I think they're pretty cool. I'm going to do some seahorses in these. Okay, so let's take a little seahorse and let's put him in here. And then you can take your toothpick, push him down, get him right where you want him to be. And we'll work on this next one for a minute while that one kind of settles there. I'm doing a lot of ocean themed stuff today because this stuff sells really well at craft shows. Anything ocean sells really well at craft shows, but you can put flowers in these, you can do little beads, you can do about anything. I mean, these are fun to make. So this fish is going in here. Okay. Everybody else looks pretty good. If you have anything that you feel like is migrated a bit, you can, or you want to adjust it a little, you can. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more in the seahorse here. Oh, see, I dripped it over the side. If you drip it over the side, just take your toothpick and try to get it off. It's not a huge deal. I mean, it will come off. You can get it off at the end, but I just like to get it off at the beginning if I can. I don't like to have it there. So just be real careful. I'm not careful enough because I'm impatient. Okay. Now let's take our flame and just go over them. Okay, now we've got these teardrops here, or this teardrop. These bezels are just spectacular for doing this. I love them. Again, I ordered these on AliExpress, and I think I'm going to order some more. I was kind of trying to wait and do an AliExpress haul. What was I going to put in this? This turtle, I think. But I had to go ahead and use these today with this resin, so they're not going to get, or I'll show them, I guess, still when I do the AliExpress haul, but yeah, he's cute in there. So if you guys have a Joann's near you, they've got 70% off of their beads right now, which I think Joann's is expensive to start with. So really, everything I pulled out, I was like, daggone. I mean, this is already, it's like $14, and even with 70% off, that's still more than I like to pay for a strand of beads. But I did find a few things, and they have their seed beads are marked down too, like 50% off. So I did get a few tubes of 6Os. Okay. They have some really pretty mixes, color mixes of their 6Os. So I got a few of those. Okay, throw this resin in here. The reason I wanted to do all these bezels first is because they really are intense with, I want to get the bubbles out and be sure that I don't have bubbles in there. So I like to do them first because once they set up, it's really hard to get the bubbles out. So I want to work on them first before the resin starts getting a little, starts setting up at all. And that way I can get all the bubbles out of these, hopefully. Because the ones in the Seashell, I may actually color. I'll do some blue and maybe put some glitter in and stuff. So it's not as hard, when you're doing glitter, you're coloring the resin, then you can't see the bubbles quite as well as you can in these perfectly clear things. Now this one, I can see it's seeping out the bottom. And I'm not sure why, because I thought I had it pressed down really good. So I'm going to try to press it down, and it is really seeping out the bottom of this one. So that's not good. So I'm just going to leave this one for a few minutes. Let me press these down. Maybe they came undone up a little. The rest of them don't seem to be doing that, just that one. Let's go on to this one. It's possible to get it off after it dries, but if it's seeping out the bottom, it's going to be hard to keep the resin in there. So I'm going to let it just set up a little bit on that one, and then I'll try to put a little bit more resin in after it's kind of set up, and maybe it'll keep it from coming out. I don't know why that one's doing that, because the rest of them aren't, but hopefully the rest of them won't. So we're putting a seahorse in here. But it really is coming out the bottom a lot. It's just, I guess it's not, maybe that bezel isn't level or something, I don't know. It has a spot that, oops. Let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, that oven back there is making noise. I'm going to have to check it here in a second. I'll finish this one and I'll go check it. See if the pizza's done. I'm so hungry. It's like 2:30 and I'm really getting hungry. Okay, so you get all the way to the edges. Put this little seahorse in here. Okay. Yeah, that one is just really, I don't know why it's all coming out the bottom. It's terrible. None of the other ones are doing that. So, oh well. I hope it doesn't, there's fuzz on my, hope it doesn't get over onto this one if I can keep it from doing that. Okay. Alright. Let's torch them all again. The bubbles come to the surface as they sit a little bit, so if you keep going over them with this torch, you're less likely to have bubbles in there. Okay, and let's do this last one here. And I'm going to put 4 starfish in this one. Okay, so let's do, we'll do the white one at the top, and this green guy over here, blue guy right there, and purple guy at the bottom. take your toothpick and just get everything the way that you want it. Okay, I'm going to put a little more resin over my seahorse here, so I didn't do that. A little more resin over this one. Resin over him just a little. You can kind of tell like where the edges are. If it's looking like it's going to flow over the edges, just be real careful. You don't want it to do that. Okay. I'm glad none of the rest of them look like they're leaking out. Just that one. I don't know why it's doing it, but it really is. I'm trying to keep it from getting on the one beside it over here. Okay. All right, so these are looking pretty good. Let me go over them with the torch again, try to get the bubbles out. Now these have to sit for 24 hours before they're ready to do anything with. So what I like to do is just set them aside and put I'll put a piece of wax paper, well, not over these. I'll have to put something over these that won't touch them. But let me see if I can move them. We'll come back to that one that's leaking in a minute. Let me see if I can scoot these out of the way, and then we will work on our seashells. Okay, so we'll just let those sit for a minute. Let me take the torch and go over them one more time. If you see any bubbles or you see any fuzz in there, now's the time to, to get it out. Okay. All right. Okay, I hope that none of the rest of them look like they're leaking out, just that one. And now it's getting on the one beside it. What is wrong with you? You're misbehaving. Don't get on your brother over here, please. Don't do it. Okay. All right, we'll let that sit, see what happens. All right, I'm gonna pause you for a minute and check on this pizza. Okay, so I burned the heck out of the pizza. It's like a little crisp. So I'm gonna leave it for a minute and let it cool off, and then I'll come back to that. All right, so our next few things we're gonna work on are our seashells. So this one, I'm gonna just put this turtle in. I'm not gonna do anything fancy with it. Like I said, I like to keep them simple. And so I'm just going to pour some resin in here. Actually, it'd probably be better just to do it this way with this one. Okay. Just enough in there right now to hold the turtle, and then we'll put the turtle in. We get him where we want him, and we're going to set him in the rice right here. Let me scoot this up. Make sure that's on frame. Yeah, you can see it good enough. Okay. So we're going to set the turtle in the rice, or the seashell in the rice, and then we're just going to pour some more resin in here to kind of cover him. You do not want it to come out. Don't pour so much that it spills over the side of your seashell, especially with it sitting in the rice, or this rice will be hooked to it forever. You'll never get it off once the resin dries. So keep it inside your seashell. Okay, so there's a little turtle, and that's all we're going to do with him. I'm not going to do anything fancy with him. I'm just going to leave him like that. Make sure he's setting level, and that the resin actually did get on that piece of rice. So yeah, make sure it's setting level. And take your torch and run over it. Get the bubbles out. Okay. Let's see. I'd like to do a little Let me find one that I want to do like a sand scene. Okay, here we go. So this one right here, I've got a little turtle and an anchor and a little chain. So I want to make this one look like a little scene, like there's it's laying on the bottom of the ocean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some resin in here. Not too much because I don't want it to spill out. I'm going to kind of spread it around. I want to get it on these edges up here because I'm going to put some micro pearls or some glitter in here, make it look like sand on the bottom of the ocean. Okay, so you set it in there to where it's level. And let's see, what do I want to use? Probably a little bit of glitter. I'm going to use a little bit of this copper colored glitter. So I'm just going to take a toothpick like this and just sprinkle a little bit on the edges. Just like this. Okay, that's really pretty. So then I'm going to take, my turtle. I'm going to lay my turtle in here. And I want to keep this glitter kind of down toward the bottom, so I'm going to push it back a little if it looks like it's spreading too much. I don't want it like up here in the very top. And there's a piece of it up there. And just put my turtle right about there. Okay, now, do I want to put this anchor on here? I think I do. I have to scoot turtle over a little. Okay, let's put the anchor in there, just like that. Just adjust things around the way that you want them to be. And then I'm going to take this chain, and I'm going to put the chain like it's coming up to the ocean surface. Just like this. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to push my glitter back down a little. I don't want it to get too high in there. Okay, and now that one we're just going to let sit for a minute. And it'll probably, some things will move around a little bit, and we'll just let it sit, and then we'll adjust it. And then we'll wait until tomorrow to pour more resin on top, because we want all this to dry. And if I pour more glitter in, or more resin in here, the glitter is going to spread everywhere. So we're just going to wait till tomorrow to pour any more resin on that one. Let's see. This one, okay, this one will be fun. Let's see, am I on frame? Yes, okay. All right, so this one will be fun. This one I want to try to do, let me move this one over here, just so it's, I don't want it to get messed up with this one. This one I'm going to do like an ocean scene, an ocean right here on the bottom, and then put the boat in. So for this one, I need to tip this forward just a little bit, okay? Because I don't want it to come up in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of my resin and pour it in a new cup, just like that. And I'm going to, see there's just a little bit in there. I'm going to take just a tad bit of alcohol ink. It does not take much, and this stuff always gets all over me. No matter how neat I try to be, it's never good. Okay, so I'm going to take a toothpick, and I'm going to just take a little tad bit of this alcohol ink and drop it in here. Okay, maybe just a tad bit. There we go. I want it to be very light. I don't want it to be, because I want it to be translucent, so I don't want it to be dark and thick. So I'm just going to stir this around with the toothpick. And if you think that you need more blue, which I do, you can add a little bit more. Okay. Actually, I'm going to get a popsicle stick and stir it because that's better. And there it is. It's pretty. But it gives it a nice translucent water look. So it's going to look like it's under the water. Stir it around real good. And it looks like some of the alcohol ink had like some dried stuff there. I don't want that in it. So, okay, then I'm going to take this. Now, you have to be very, very careful. I'm just going to spread it here along the bottom, and I'm going to keep my shell tipped so it doesn't all flow up to the top, okay? Keep your shell tipped, but you don't want it to leak out, so you kind of have to watch it. And I want to go up to about the middle right here of the shell. That piece of rice off there. Okay. Right about like that. And we're going to set that in the rice. Actually, let me set it over here. And I'm going to keep it kind of tipped forward so it does not come up in here. Now, I don't want it to flow out the ends either, so I have to kind of have a balance there, just like that. So this is real tedious sometimes. You have to be, you know, let me go over these with the torch. And let me walk over here and go over these one more time. And that bad boy, he leaked out all over the place. He got all over the one beside him. I don't know what his issue was, but that's bad. But it happens. So just come over and pop your bubbles. I can see a lot of bubbles have come to the top now. So I'm just going to pop all of them. Okay. And I'm going to check my pizza before it burns up again. Okay. So I kind of like the idea of the blue water look in this one as well. But this one I'm just going to make like an undersea scene. So I'm just going to let the blue water be all in this one. So let me get it out of here. And see, what this will do is it will form a background in here, and then I'll come in tomorrow and I'll film that too and pour clear resin over top for the top coat, just so this is just kind of forming a background, if that makes sense. Okay, so just kind of like you're painting it on. So I have an octopus. Oh no, he flipped over. Okay. I have an octopus to put in here. And I have a seashell. And it flipped over too. Okay. Octopus and a seashell. Just like that. That seashell's wanting to slide around. Don't do that, seashell. Stay there. And then I think I may put a couple pearls in here. So I'm just going to grab one with my toothpick. Oh yeah, those will be cute. And put them, just set them around here a little bit. Try to make sure their holes are not facing up. Whoops, I dripped a pearl in the turtle. Let's get that out. I don't really want the pearl in there. Okay. Alright, so there's some pearls in there. Let's take our flame, get the bubbles out of everybody. Okay, now this one I'm going to kind of spread because I don't really want all that blue to be right in the middle. Just kind of spread it out a little. And see, as this resin gets thicker and thicker, you can work with it like this. But then it'll get to where it's too thick to do much of anything with. So, okay. All right, because see what I'm going to do with this, guys? I'm going to put the little boat right up on the water and then some fish underneath there. Okay, so here's my crispy pizza. Let's move that guy out of the way. Now, I love these fish. I think they're so pretty. I'm just going to do this one clear. And I'm just going to pour it right over top of him because it'll get underneath him, and I just want it to be a clear layer. I'm not doing any color or anything. Okay. So we just need to get enough in there to where we can coat him real good and coat the starfish real good. And we'll get the bubbles out. Your resin does not have to fill up the whole shell. That's one thing that you need to realize. It just really needs to be enough to hold the pieces where you want them to be. It's okay for them to stick out of the resin a little bit and be 3D. It makes it kind of cool. So let me get the bubbles out. And I can see a bubble right here. There, it popped. I was going to say, sometimes you can take your toothpick and pop them if they're stubborn and not wanting to pop. Because the resin is starting to thicken now. And as it thickens, you're going to have more and more bubbles that are not going to want to come out. Okay, so let's do this guy. Him again. I may do some pearls in this one, but for the most part, I'm just going to leave him plain in here because I think he looks really pretty. Okay, I may have just got a little too much in there. Let me take some of this out. Okay, that's probably good. Just as long as I don't tip it. Okay, let's put our little fish in. I think these little fish are so pretty. And it looks so pretty against the white right there. Let's take the torch. See, there's a huge bubble right there. We'll see if it comes to the top. It did. It came up and popped. Some of the other ones are. Need to go back over these again. Okay. And then I may add a couple pearls in with this guy. Just on the edges down here. It's kind of cute. Okay. Probably have to keep pushing these back because they'll probably try to all go toward the middle like this is doing. Let me spread it out a little bit again. You do just have to keep working with it. Okay. Tip it up a little bit more so it won't be running towards the middle. Go over everybody with the torch. You do this every couple of minutes when you think of it. Just gets the bubbles out. Okay, so what do we have now? Let's see, we've got this guy here. I'm going to put these two shells in with this crab. And I may put some little micro pearls in along the bottom here. So let's pour in some resin. My resin's getting really thick now, so I'm going to have to speed up my process. Pour in some resin. I want to get it up here on the edges so the micro pearls will stick, but I don't want to get it on the back of the seashell, so just be kind of careful there. Just like this. All right, now micro pearls. These are fun to work with. These can kind of look like sand and they get everywhere. So what I do is I just hold them over the rice like this, away from my other pieces and just sprinkle them in like that. They're teeny tiny little pearls, but they're pretty. And they just kind of give it a sparkle and look like a little bit of sand on the bottom. Okay. Now, I want these swirly shells in here. I really like these swirly shells. I think they're so cute. So we're going to put those like that. A couple swirly shells. Oop. I just dropped him in there and got rice up in there. Let me get that out. Okay. And we're going to put little Mr. Crab right up here. Okay. Move the micro pearls down. Take the torch. Down any bubbles that we see. Do your other ones as well. Bubbles out of everybody. And this is a good time to go back, and if you see anything that needs adjusted, like this pearl right here, I'm wanting to turn it because I can see the, there we go. I could see the hole. And this I might try to drag up just a tad and put some of the glitter back down a little bit. Okay. Turtle looks good. These fish look good, pretty good. Let me scoot some of these pearls back down. I don't want them that far up in there. I knew they would migrate because of the, you just have to keep adjusting things. He looks good and he's looking good. Okay. Let me see if I'm still recording. I am. This is going to be a long video. I hope you guys are okay with that. Okay, so here's another one. Let me move him up here. Here's another one that I'm going to kind of create a little beachy scene. So let me pour some resin in here. I'm having to try to hurry a little bit now because it's getting kind of thick. This is why I don't pour a huge amount. I can always go back and pour more later, but if you pour a big huge amount, you're going to end up with wasting it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do there, and I'm going to put this little beach chair in there. I think that's cute. And I'm going to add some micro pearls or some glitter to the bottom of this one, but I'm going to wait a few minutes. I'm just going to let it sit and let this get kind of harder because I don't want to have them all migrating up to the top. So I'm going to give that one just a few minutes. Let's let it sit there. Okay, everybody else is looking pretty good. We can go back over 4 bubbles if we want. I might go back over these over here. I believe that one leaked out so bad. It really did. But yeah, these have some bubbles, so let's go back over them. Okay, just try to pop all the bubbles that you can see, because in these clear ones, especially these open bezels, you don't really want bubbles in there. Ooh, I just dragged that through the resin. That's not a good idea. You see the smoke? Yeah, it's flammable, so you don't want to really drag it through the resin. And then I got fuzz in it. There we go. Phew. Okay, I think those are good. All right. I know you guys couldn't see me do that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to kind of hurry. All right, so let's see what else we have. This is just a plain starfish. It's nothing to it, just plain. I'm gonna keep it simple. So let me pour some resin in here. Now my resin's getting very thick now. So as you can see, anything I do now is gonna be a little bit difficult to get bubbles out. So we need to try to hurry. So let's not get rice on there. This is what happens when I try to hurry and make all kinds of mistakes. And get the rice off there. trying not to touch the resin, but because I always get it all over me. Okay, so lay Mr. Starfish right there. Push him down a little. Take your flame and try to, like, there's a big bubble right there. It's not wanting to come out, so I'm going to take my toothpick and try to get it out. There we go. Okay. And that one's pretty, just kind of by itself, just like that. Here's another one like that, so let me go ahead and just pour some more. Okay. As you can see, it's starting to get real thick, so it's going to be really hard to get bubbles out. So let's go ahead and put that little starfish in there. There's a big bubble. Let me see if my flame will get them popped. Yeah, it's not wanting to pop the bubbles now because they're just, it's thick and set in there. So let me just take this toothpick and try to get any that I can see down in there out. I mean, it is an ocean scene, so it's not like the end of the world if you have some bubbles. Now, it kind of is with those clear bezels over there. You want them to be very clear. That's one reason I do them first, because I really want to make sure that you can't see bubbles in those. So, but the rest of these, it's not such a big deal. You know, you just don't want to have big old huge bubbles in there because that's not pretty. Okay. Now, for my ocean up here, I'm going to set my little boat in here. I want him toward the top like he's on the water. And then I've got some little fish that I'm going to put in here. This little guy, go up over here. And then two more. Some people use tweezers to pick these things up, but I'm not good at that at all. The precision part of the tweezers and I don't agree at all. So I just do better to lay them in here and then flip them if they're the wrong way or whatever. Okay. So we've got some little fish in the sea underneath this boat. I kind of wanted to make this guy like he's jumping out, but now I've got blue resin all over him, so I don't really want to. Let me see if I can pick him up and get some of it off and then put him back in there. Lay it over here on my paper towel with my pizza. That's real good. Okay. My boat's kind of tipping. Let's see if this guy, I kind of wanted him to look like he was jumping out of the water a little. There we go. Just a little. Let's see if we can scoot Mr. Boat over here. There we go. He's jumping out. Get the boat up there. And these guys are just playing under the water. How's that? That's kind of cute. Okay, now I've got resin all over my arm. I'm so messy, you guys. So messy. Let's see, I think I'm going to have to... Let's do this flip-flop next. Go ahead and torch these ones that I just did. Try to get any bubbles out that you see. Okay. I really like this little flip-flop. Let's do him. And then I'm going to have to mix up more resin because it is really thick now. It's really, really thick. Actually, you know what I might do? Wait a minute. Let me find one that I want to pour a glitter background on. Let's see. What would be pretty to just do like a glittery background? Maybe just this one with these kind of plainer colored seashells. Let's do a glitter background. So here I have this really thick resin in here. So I'm going to take some glitter, maybe some gold. Oh wait, what's that? This was really pretty. Yeah, let's do this. This stuff that Mia sent. I love this. It's like iridescent, really pretty colors. Okay, so let's pour some of this in here. Okay, stir it around. Resin is so thick now. Okay, and then we're just going to take it and we're going to put it in this shell like this. Woo! It is so thick. Get every bit of it out that I can. Okay, so I'm going to spread it around in here. Just like this. And I might actually take some of it and do another shell. What other shell would I want to do a glittery background on? I don't know. Let's take this empty one and I'll figure something out later. I'm just going to put this in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this glitter part dry overnight. And then when we come in the morning, we can put something else in it and it'll have this pretty glittery background. Okay, so let's just smear it in here, kind of get it evenly all over. Just like that.
You've got mail.
I think Chris is home. Just like that. All right, so I'm out of resin. I'm going to torch these again, all of them. And then I am going to let them sit overnight. And we will come back in the morning and continue on. So I'll see you in a little bit. Well, in a few hours. Okay, so we're back and it is the next day. And I've got tons of these shell pendants here. As you can see, they're dry now, like plastic, you know, acrylic or whatever you would want to call them. All of them are. I poured a few more last night, just, you know, the ones that I hadn't done already, just so you wouldn't have to sit and watch me do every last one. But I'm going to set these aside for a minute, and then we'll finish them in a minute. And they're stuck to the wax paper. Okay, where can I put them? Here we go. Now, these are the pendants that we poured yesterday on the tape, and I'm going to show you how this works. So they're hard as well, all of them. And I poured these two last night, and they're hard as well. Now, this is the one that leaked out so bad, so I'll show you what happens with that. So we just take the tape, and we just grab it, pull it off. It takes a little power. And this is what we have. Now, I know there's a residue back here. What we'll have to do is take Goo Gone and get that off. And if you soak these in a little bit of Goo Gone and then just take a paper towel and wipe it, that residue comes right off. But this is what it looks like. It doesn't look totally clear because of that, but they will be really pretty when we're done. So let me pull the rest of them off here. And I'll show you the Goo Gone process as well, so you know. There's the seahorse. And again, they're cloudy, but they won't be when we're done. Okay. There's the other fish. And see, sometimes a little bit of the tape will stick on here too, and that's okay. The Goo Gone will get that off as well. Okay, there's that one. Now, these two I poured last night, and I'm not going to take them off yet. Well, actually I could, because I'm just going to pour. I'm going to put something on them, and then we'll pour a little more resin. Those are those two. Let's get these off. Now, this is the one that was troublesome over here. And I figured out why he was troublesome. It was not his fault. It was totally my fault. So if you look at Most of these bezels, all of them in fact, have the hole facing the side. This one, look, it's up and down. So when I put it on it didn't stick down at the top because this thing was in the way and I didn't realize that. So it leaked. Okay, there's the turtle. Okay, so this one should come off okay because it didn't get affected by the leaky one. This one here. Okay, now we've got the leaky one, and it's the one that it leaked all over. So we'll pull these two off. Okay, and see, this one's okay. I'll have to clean out that hole a little bit with a beading awl. But even though it leaked over onto this one, it didn't mess it up. Because again, the Goo Gone in here will get this cloudiness off. And then this guy, he just leaked out everywhere. Okay. All right, so here's what happens. Now, what I can do, I can try to break this off that's around the edges. And see, some of it will come off. I will probably have to take pliers and get the rest of it off. But you can, if you take pliers and you pull this, it will actually come off all the way around and you'll be able to still use this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some more in it today because now this is blocked up and it's not going to leak out on me. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one today. But that is how all those turned out. I'll get that out of the way. So these, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one are all done. I'm just going to soak them in the Goo Gone to get the sticky off of them. So I'm not going to do any more with them, but these three we are. Okay. Now let's take a look at these others, and we'll come back to this. I've already poured my resin, by the way, and mixed it, and I'm just letting it sit to get the bubbles out so that when we get ready to pour, come on, this torch isn't wanting to work, so that when we, oh, I have to do that one, so that when we get ready to pour, and it's empty apparently. Yeah, that's not good. Let's hope this one's got some left in it. It does. I'm just getting the bubbles out a little bit. But when we get ready to pour the rest of these, hopefully it won't have so many bubbles. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Those. All right, so we've got all kinds of different things here. I'm going to take out the ones that are finished. So this one's finished. I'm not going to do any more to it, so we'll put it over here. This one, I may pour a little bit more in. Let's see, this one's finished. I'm not going to do any more to it. This one's finished. Yeah, because it's pretty full. This one's done. This one's done. If you can see, this is a little seahorse with a pearl in there. Now, if you've got rice stuck to the back of your seashells, just pick it off. It should come off. If it doesn't come off easily, you can take a pair of pliers and pull the piece off, and it will come off. Those are done. This guy's done. This was the glitter background that we poured yesterday. And see, I did this one as well. And I just put this crab in here last night and poured some resin over top. So he's done. This flip-flop I think is done. I'm not going to do anything else to it. And this fish. I really like the simple way that this fish turned out. So we're going to leave those. This one's finished because it's pretty well full. See, it's like a hard coating on there. It's really cool. That one I'm going to add to, this one's done here, this crab. This one I'm going to add some more resin to. If they stick out like a huge amount like this, if you can see, I'm going to add a little more resin in there. And look, this one I'd already bedazzled on the back and forgot about. But the rest of them, like this one's finished right here. It's got a little piece of rice on it. I'll have to take, there it came off. This one's finished. And then I really like this one. This is the one with the little ocean. And I took some glitter and put it along the top last night to make it look like the top of the ocean. And I'm going to pour a little more resin in here today. So I think all of these right here, this turtle's done. It's pretty full. I can't really do much else to it. But I think all the rest of these I'm going to add something more to. Okay, so let's get them all in here to where we can work with them. Okay, so here's my resin. Make sure this is on frame. It is. Let me scoot this up just a tad. Okay, now I've got this little fish, and I'm going to put him in one of these gold ones. I kind of like him in this one. I think it's really pretty. But I also have these that I poured some gold glitter in the background. I think that's really pretty too. It's hard to decide. And this one, that's really pretty too. These fish are so cute. I can't decide what one I want to put him in. And then I had, let's scoot the table, it keeps bumping the camera. What did I have? Oh, I had this little blue dolphin over here. And I thought he might be cute in something, like maybe, no, he doesn't show up in there. Okay. I had thought about the blue fish in here too. Well, he looks cute in there too. I don't know what to do with him. I want to put him in all of them, and I don't have any more little fish left unless I go to Hobby Lobby, and I don't really want to. We have some blue shells. No, that didn't really look good. So that's what you have to do. You kind of have to play around and figure out exactly what you want to do. Now, I did have a little anchor that I thought looked cute in one of these last night. What did I do with, oh, here it is. This little rose gold looking anchor. I thought it actually looked cute on that gold background. You can see it because it's kind of a different color. So I may do that in there, and maybe a little shell or something like that in this one. Let's see, the blue fish. Where are we going to put the blue fish, guys? He looks good in everything. I like him in there, but I really like him in here because he really shows up against this white background. So I think I'm going to put the blue fish in there. Okay, so that leaves, I've got this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I need something else in. Now this one here, this is like this beach chair. I thought it was really cute, but I kind of wanted to put a little shell on the bottom. So let me see if I can find a tiny shell. And if I get on camera, I just apologize in advance for my appearance today. Chris and I have been out. We went to his parents' house and planted flowers for them, and now we've got a bunch of flowers here to plant, and I'm a mess. But see, that little seashell would be kind of cute in there. Or a little starfish would be cute if I had a tiny one. I don't really have any that are super small. Oh, seahorse, but he doesn't really fit up on the beach. I could use him in one of these though. He'd be kind of cute in there. I wonder if he'd be cuter in here because he's small. He is really tiny. Yeah, he might be better in the smaller shell and the fish in the bigger shell. Maybe. I really like this fish against the white background. It's pretty. Okay. Now I'd like to put something else in here. Do I have a small starfish? I don't really have anything tiny. That's too big. That's about as big as this chair. Yeah, I don't really have any small starfish. If I put a starfish in there, it's gonna have to be a big one, and I don't think the big ones look real good. So here's a littler one. That one might work if I let me cut the loop off. A little crab would be cute, but I don't have any teeny crabs. Okay, let's see if that starfish might look kind of cute in there. Just laying like, oh, my allergies are driving me crazy. Maybe like that. I may do that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I do wish I had a tiny crab. This is the tiniest crab I've got, though. It looks like it's monstrous compared to the little chair. That would be kind of scary. Here's a pair of flip-flops. Whoops. Those might look kind of cute laying there. Nah, they're too big, too. Okay, the starfish is going to have to be it if anything goes in there. Alright, so this one, I may just leave by itself. I don't know. We'll see. Here's kind of a cool piece of shell. I wonder if I could lay that there and lay him on top of it somehow. I mean, I could do about anything I wanted with the resin. It'll stick in there. I don't know, we may do something like that with him. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So let's see here. This blue one, I really like it, this blue glitter, but I don't know what to put in it. I could put a red one. That's kind of cute. Or here's a sand dollar. No. If an anchor would look cute in there. It's kind of cute. It looks like it's under the water. The anchor. Doesn't really show up all that great though. Here's a turtle. Now the turtle's cute there. We might do the turtle. And I have this big turtle, but I don't think it'll fit. Well, it does, but it takes up the, I don't like that. Okay, so I don't know. What do you guys think? The anchor was kind of cute. Yeah, this anchor looks cute in there. And maybe a little crab. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I really like that blue glass glitter on the back of this one. I'm just not sure what to put in it. Here's a little swimming sea turtle. You can't really tell what he is though, I don't think. Like, if I put him in there, I don't know, he doesn't really show up. The crab shows up better. And then of course I have this big crab. Let me cut the loops off this and see what he would look like in there. These big ones kind of remind me of spiders. I'm not crazy about them, but it is what it is. Okay, let me see what he would look like in there. Well, he does look kind of cool in there. Ooh, he looks so much like a spider though. Having issues with that. Here's a bronze version of him. Don't really care for that so much in there. So yeah, part of it is just figuring out. And yesterday I had it already all figured out, so I did better. Now this anchor looks kind of cool. Ooh, I kind of like the anchor in there. We may do that. Okay, let's look at a crab in here with this glitter. I think I did that with the other glitter. Didn't I? I did. Maybe the turtle with the glitter. The turtle's cute with the glitter. We're going to do the turtle with the glitter. The anchor there. Now this turned out very glittery. I just didn't really care for it after I got all that much glitter in there. So what can I do in here that will make this look decent? And it's a huge one too. The crab. There's a gold anchor. Here's a gold shell. That won't even show up on there. I could do some fish maybe. No, they don't even show up in there. Everything does not show up on this gold. It's just so gold. I don't really care for it. I may just not use it. Or do something else with it. There's a big silver anchor. I think this one, I may decorate the back of it and make a pendant and bead with it. That's what I've done with a lot of them. So it got nixed. Okay. Last but not least is this guy. What are we going to do with him? This crab. I kind of like him, the color with that, but he doesn't really look so great in there. And I have these shells. Now, these shells came in the bargain bead box a while back. And if you look at them, they have an indentation here and an indentation here, but there is no way to hold, like if you try to bead wire, put this on wire, are these only good for wire wrapping? Can somebody tell me how to use these? Because I am thoroughly confused. I don't know how that you're supposed to use those. I like this starfish. But yeah, I would like to use something on it, but I have no idea what. So if somebody can tell me how to use those beads, I would be very grateful because I can't figure it out. I've tried. All right, so we're going to put a starfish. Maybe an anchor and a starfish. No. Okay, that starfish. And if I had maybe a small shell that would look cute. Yeah, that might be kind of cute. Just if I could center him a little more maybe. And I don't know. We'll play around with that here when we get the resin going. Oh, here's a snail shell. Those are kind of cute. I want it to look not like, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's centered in there. What else do I have? I have these little swirlies. I do like these little swirlies. I think they're really cute. There's one. Do I have another one? Here's another one. I might do the starfish and the swirlies. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really like that either. I like the starfish and the one swirly. Maybe I'll do that. I don't really care for the starfish and two swirlies. Here's another boat too. I wonder if this boat would look cute in this. It kind of does. But the anchor just shows up better. But I kind of like the boat. But the anchor looks like it's underwater with all that. I like the anchor. Okay. So I think that's everything. I hope you're not too frustrated by my process because this is just how I do it. I have to just try things out and see how they work. Okay. All right. So here's our resin and it's looking fairly bubble free at the moment. So we're going to make sure these are flat. Now let me make sure it's on camera. Okay, we're good. Okay, so you want to make sure these are very flat in here and they're not going to leak or tip. And you want to take your resin and just try to do like a thin coating at first. All you're really trying to do now is stick your item down to the shell. Okay? You're just putting a coat of resin over it to kind of stick it down. So let's go on to the next one. I'm going to do them all and then I'll go back over them with the torch and with more resin if I need to. But right now I'm just kind of sticking, this is just coating them and sticking them all down to the shells. Whew. It is hot today here in Fayetteville. It's like 88 degrees and I'm not complaining one bit. I'm loving the warm weather. And there are so many pretty flowers here right now. I'm just like amazed. And we went to, there's this nursery here over close to where we live. And we went in there today and I got, I was looking for flowers. I like to buy perennials because they come back next year. And that's my thing. I'm like, okay, I don't want to buy anything really like mega, you know, nothing that you're putting much money into that's not going to come back next year. It's just not worth it. So I bought a bougainvillea. Is that how you say it? It's so pretty. It has like these beautiful hot pink flowers on it. And we're putting it up close to kind of the front of our house by the road. And I got a butterfly bush. And it's just gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. It's not yet, but I've seen other ones blooming that are so pretty. So I really like it. What else did I get? I got some hanging thing for the front porch, and it's not a perennial. It won't come back next year, but I really like it. I'm trying to think. We have a bunch of stuff that's coming up from last year. I'm so excited that it came back because I was worried. I was really worried that it wasn't going to come back, but it is. A lot of it is. We had a couple things that didn't come back, and I was disappointed because one of them was a beautiful hibiscus, and I really wanted it to come back. It had peach flowers the size of my hands on it. It was so pretty, but it does not look like it's going to come back this year. But we got all those things today, and I got like a planter to put on the front porch rail. Like it sits over the rail, and I'm going to put some petunias and just some colorful stuff in there. Now they won't come back next year, but they're really pretty. It'll be pretty on the front porch. I just love the flowers here in North Carolina. We didn't have stuff like that back in West Virginia. We couldn't grow like nearly as much as they can grow here. We didn't have the variety, and we had some pretty stuff, but most of the really pretty stuff was annuals. You couldn't get like these perennials that are just huge, big, beautiful flowers. Right now, azalea bushes are blooming everywhere here, and I think azalea bushes are so pretty in the spring, but then their flowers go away and they're just a green bush. So Chris is going nuts over them right now. He's like, oh, they're so pretty. And they are pretty right now. That's what I keep telling him. I'm like, they're beautiful right now, but, you know, give them a few weeks and they're just going to be green bushes with dead flowers on them. They're not going to be that pretty. I want something that's going to bloom all spring and summer. So I know I'm asking for the world, but I found it. I found it in the butterfly bush and the bougainvillea. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But yeah, he blooms, it said spring, summer, and fall. So I was thrilled. I don't expect blooming in the winter. I'm not unreasonable. But spring, summer, and fall, absolutely, we're going to take it. So I'm just covering all these really good, making sure that they all, if I have added something to it, it's got resin covering it, so it'll stay. And the ones that I did yesterday that were kind of low on resin, I'm making sure that everything is stuck down real good and covered. And I'm not sure why I pulled him out. He doesn't really need anything else. He's good. Don't really need to do anything else with him. Okay. So the rest of these, and you just want to make sure that you don't overflow your shells. That's one thing. And they will leak out these little end ridges. Now this one I'm trying to keep tipped a little forward because there's a hole in it and I didn't realize, but that'll be perfect for putting, for hanging it from. But I didn't realize it was there. Sebastian, come here. Come here. Come away from the door. Chris is in there trying to take a nap and the cat's pawing at the door. Come here. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Okay, let's see here. Let's put a little more on this guy. Okay. And maybe a little more here as well. This one I liked. I thought he was really cool. He just definitely looks like an under the sea scene with a boat on the top. These are so much fun to make, you guys. If you haven't done it with resin, it's just so much fun. You can play around. You can do so much with glitter and, you know, all these are under the sea, obviously, themed, but you can do anything with resin. Make sure I got enough in that one. I think I did. Looks like, oh yeah, I've got lots in it. It may make that one overflow if I'm not careful. Okay, now I'm going to let these sit for just a second. Well, actually, let me torch them really quick. This one was empty. That one was empty. This one had. You just want to try to get my torches are running low. It really takes, if you're doing a big job like this, like I've done 3 pours, it takes more than one barbecue torch. It runs the stuff out of it pretty quickly. And I've tried the propane torches. Sebastian, come here. And I guess you need to like get them. Somebody, Heidi recommended a heat gun, and that's the smartest thing. That's what I need to get, but I just haven't invested in it yet. But the propane torches, and then I also had like the torches that the chefs use in the restaurant, like for creme brulee. And that totally torches the top of your resin and scorches it. You don't want to use those. I know. Come here. Come here. Okay. So those are all looking good. Let's scoot them over and let them sit for just a minute. And let's do these real quick. All right, I've got just enough resin left, I think, for these. Now this guy, I'm just going to pour a little more in because he won't leak now unless I go over the top, which I'm going to try not to do. Come here, Sebastian. Hey, kitty. He's like, doesn't give up. Okay, now there's that one. Let me torch it. And it should not leak again. And then what am I going to do with these gold ones? Let's see. Okay, now Chris is hollering for the cat, which is making things even worse. Let me find a starfish would be pretty. Like the blue one would be pretty on the glue. See, anything I do, or on the gold, I mean, anything I do on here is definitely going to stick out if it's very puffy. So I need to find something very thin. Like this would work, and that's okay. I don't have a lot of very thin things. Everything is kind of 3D. Let me see, I do have these starfish. So one of those might work. That'd be kind of cute on there. And then this in here maybe? Let me cut the loop off this. Okay. And I kind of hate to put gold on gold, but I don't have anything silver that's thin enough. Kitty, kitty, kitty. There's an anchor. That'd be kind of cute on there. Yeah, I kind of like that on there. Let me do that. So I'm just going to put like the thinnest layer right here. And it's not even going to cover that anchor, but it's just going to glue it down. That's it. Come here, Sebastian. Kitty, kitty. Okay. Well, I can hear him in there. He's making all kinds of noise, so I'm going to let the cat just claw at the door. He's talking to the dog. And okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more over it. And it won't completely cover this, but it will stick it down. Okay. See how much recording time I've got left. Okay. Let me go ahead and do, I think I will do this starfish on here. I don't know, these little flip-flops would be, oh, those are cute on there. Let's do that. Cut the loop off them. Sometimes you can take your cutters and just bend it and the loop will come right off. Those are really cute. Or the sailboat would be cute on there too. Oh, which do I want to do? I like the sailboat too. And I like the flip-flops. I think I like the sailboat better because it's brighter. It's a little brighter silver. So put a little resin. This is also called doming, when you make it to where it goes right to the edge of the thing that doesn't flow over. And I do need to cut the loop off this sailboat. That's called doming it. And you do not want it to overflow is the only thing. Can you hear him doing his animal talk in there? Drives me insane. Can't stand it. All right. Well, let's torch this. All the bubbles out that we can. This one too. Okay. Yeah, that one's not overflowing now. All right. Here comes Sadie. I can hear her. All right, so there we go. We got those three done. Those are cute. They actually turned out cute. Okay, so let's put this one back over here. See if I can scoot this away without tipping things too much. This one back, and we just need to torch them all. You want to do this with all of them and make sure that you get out all the bubbles that you can see. Bubbles really do take away from the prettiness of these things. So just try to run over it with the torch. All right, now I do have a little bit of resin left in here, so I think I might, let's see, that one, oh, that one I wanted to keep leaning a little bit forward. Let's see, this flip-flop one could use a little more. Okay, so my recording stopped. So we're back up now. I'm just filling the last, using the last little bit of the resin out of the cup. Just because I hate to waste any of it because it's really expensive. So, all right. I think that's about it. That's all I'm going to get out of there. Okay. So, they're all resined up here. Now, if you want to scoot things around, now's the time to do it. I do want to scoot this a little, but I don't want that to overflow. Okay. And take your torch and go over everything. Just try to get out all the bubbles that you can. Now the cat is in the room and he's clawing to get back out. Like, he can't be pleased. You let him in, he wants out. You keep him out, he wants in. And this one, looks like I needed to put more resin in, but I didn't. So let me see if I can make it flow to the front here a little bit. Just want it to be even. I don't want it to be all glopped up in one spot, which is kind of how it was there for a second. I think it'll be okay though. Okay, now let's set it down there. Okay. So guys, I hope this helps you want to play around with resin a little bit. It is so much fun. And I'm not done yet. Of course, we'll have to let this dry. But after this dries, I will come back and we'll take we'll use the Goo Gone and take all of the sticky off those, and I'll show you how to make these into pendants, how to drill holes in them, and do all kinds of stuff. You can decorate the backs of them. They're just really a lot of fun. And let's work these other ones that you can't see now, because maybe I'm not. My thing is out of stuff. So yeah, anyway, we will be back. I will let these dry overnight, and then I'll head back tomorrow and we will go ahead and finish them off. So hang in there and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm back up in the bead room, and so the lighting should be a little bit better up here. And I've got my little guide here, which lets me know if I go off frame or not. So I'm going to show you guys every one of these pendants if you want to see them. So first off, let me show you. So these are the clear ones. Now this is the one that overflowed, and I'm going to show you what to do if this happens to you. So just take a pair of pliers, just start wiggling the resin that has overflowed to the outside of your pendant, and if you see, it will come off. It takes a little elbow grease, but just keep at it and it will come off the outside of your pendant. So if something you have leaks out, you can usually do this and get it right off. So there, see? So now, the only problem with these is, like I said in the video, and this one, all of these right here, they turned out cute. Like this one, I think is really cute with the mermaid scale inside. Then I had this one with the anchor. We had Mr. Seahorse here. But if you can see, there's like a pattern on the back. It is not clear, and I wanted them clear. Now the pattern looks kind of cool, but it's not what I really wanted. So I'm going to try to put some glossy accents on the back of one of these and see if it will remove that. But other than that, they did not have a lot of bubbles in them, and I think that they'll look really good if I can just get that back smoothed out. So there's these with the starfish. And all of these still have the tape on the back. I ran out of Goo Gone, so I'm really frustrated with that. But I have to go and get some Goo Gone. So that'll remove even more of this cloudiness from the back when I do that. But like I said, there is like a tape pattern left in there. So, and this one, you can see like the tape was wrinkled, look. And it left little wrinkles in there. Which, I don't know, I'm not sure that they look bad, but We'll see how it looks after I take all that off with the Goo Gone. I had some Goo Gone oven cleaner and I tried to take it off with that, but it didn't work. And before anybody tells me to use fingernail polish remover, no, it does not work, and neither does alcohol. So I've got to go get Goo Gone. Goo Gone's the only thing that's going to work to get this off. But these are all of the ones that I did in the bezels. So they did turn out really cute. I just need to work on the backs, and I am going to try the glossy accents and see if that'll smooth it out where you can't see that pattern. Okay, so those are the open bezel ones. Now, there's a couple here that I had done before. Like here is a little twisty seashell that I glued some crystals in. And what I will do is I will glue a bail down inside here that will stick up and make a little pendant. That'll be really pretty. And I have another twisty one. Here it is. See how I glued the bail right there? And this one I just glittered the edges and glued some black pearls in there. And I thought it turned out really cute too. So you can do so many things with these seashells. They're a lot of fun. Here's another one that I just took. I took clear nail polish and painted the inside to make it shiny. This is a part of a fishing lure. And I just took it and a little charm and hung in there, glued a bead cap on here, and made a little wrapped loop. See the eye pin in there? Yep. So, you know, that'll be a really cute pendant as well. They turn out really cute, the seashell. Okay, now the rest of these are all the ones that I did with resin, so I'll show you all of them, because I know I went off frame the other day. So here, this is one I'd done before. This is a mermaid and just a little glitter in there. But I have to drill through the top of this. Oh, and I did want to show you guys, this is the hand drill. So this is what you take, and like I've already done this one, you just sit here and you turn and turn and turn and turn and turn until it finally goes through. And it takes forever sometimes, but it will make a hole in there. So that's the hand drill, and that's what I use to drill through these. So here's this one with the crab and the anchor and the chain. Here is the turtle with the glitter. They turn out really cute. I love that glitter. Mia sent that to me. Thank you, Mia. This is one of my favorites. I think just because it's so tiny. It's little, and it's got that little turtle, and he's swimming, and there's the anchor and the chain with some glitter on the bottom. And see, I've already done the hole in this one as well. You can see there. Okay. This one is a starfish and a seashell. And I love the way the resin just gives it a really pretty, shiny finish. This one is the crab and these two little shells. Now these are 3D. They poke out pretty good. And then I put those little gold micro pearls in there. So this one turned out cute. Whoops, sorry, hit the camera. Here is the ocean scene one with the boat and the waves and the little dolphin up at the top and then some fish below. I really like that one too. Thought it turned out cute. Here is a flip-flop and some seashells. See, it's just hard like plastic. This one is one of my favorites as well. It's one of those fish, and I thought those fish were so pretty, and then I just put some pearls on the bottom. I really like this one. Here's a starfish. And I know this has been a super long video, but it takes a long time to do resin. I mean, you have to pour it, you have to let it set up, then if you want to do a second layer, you have to do that, you have to let it set up, then you have to finalize the whole thing and let it sit up, and then you just, it's a process. So this one I thought turned out really cute too. It's just simple. Little yellow, or red, yellow, goodness, I don't even know my colors today. Here's a blue one, and here's another blue one, just like that one, two of those. Here is a turtle, just by himself. Here's another crab on the glitter. Here's a seahorse with a little pearl. Now this one I did before also. I just haven't strung it up yet, but it's a mermaid and she's got some seashells behind her. Here's another seahorse. And I paint the backs of a lot of these with the clear nail polish because it makes them shiny. Here's just a flip-flop by itself. Here's an anchor and a shell. I like this one too. This is an octopus. There's some pearls in there and a little starfish. Here's a starfish in a shell. Some glitter back there. Here's an anchor, and that is the glass glitter behind it. Here's a seahorse in a shell. Here's just this blue fish, and I love this one too. I think these fish are so pretty. Here's a turtle. Here's a little seahorse with a shell. Here's the beach chair and a starfish. Here's another octopus and a shell and some pearls in there. Here we have another anchor and a starfish and some little micro pearls. Whoops. This is a seahorse with some pearls. Here's a starfish with a shell and some pearls. Here's a seahorse with some pearls. Here's another fish. Now this fish has little bubbles coming up. I don't know if you can see them, but they're little micro pearls. And here's a starfish and some silver glass glitter. Here is just a three pink starfish with some glitter. I love this one too. Here's this fish again with the starfish. And last but not least, three little multicolored starfish. So that is how they all turned out. I think they're really cute. You can just do so many different things with them. If you're interested in purchasing any of these shells, if you just tell me which one that you liked, and email me. I'll put my information in the description box, my email down there in the description box below. Yeah, they are all for sale, and I will drill a hole in them before I send them to you, but I will not string them up. You know, you can string them yourselves. I'm just selling the pendant pieces, the finished pendant part with a hole in it or a bail, depending on the shell. Some shells you can put bells on, some you can't, so just depends, but here they all are. They turned out really good. I didn't have any trouble this time with my resin setting up or getting hard, which is nice. So yeah, I am going to go get a few more things done today and try to get a bunch of stuff listed up on my website. And again, the Coriana chain is back in stock. If you're interested in that, check that out. So I'll have all my website information in the description box below. And thanks guys for watching and hanging in for this really, really, really long video. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.